At this particular moment, number one, they're trying to educate him and inform him before he retires of what his problems will be after he retires. Most of the labor organizations and industry have maintained an interest in their retirees, as well as universities that I know, in the person who is now past the age of contribution to the effort. I think, of course, as you well know, Social Security and its recent 10% increase is designed to help the people who are retired live in a satisfactory level that they're used to, at least.
Can our senior citizens expect a fair shake in the near future with our society structured as it is?
Well, yes, I think so, because our main effort is to keep the Ulster in the mainstream of industry, or in my particular interest, which is medicine. In the last 15 years, our main business has been to keep the sick Ulster in the mainstream of medicine. In other words, not too many years ago, in the surgical amphitheaters of the big universities, there were signs on the door that says, if the patient is 55, you may not do these types of operations, and so on up the scale. So you had a big list like this that the Ulster didn't dare have, you see. Now, in my own practice, I have two fellows in the 70s who've had open heart surgery, and we have prosthetic surgery going up into the hundreds, and so we're accomplishing things in medicine by keeping these people in the mainstream, right with everybody else.
Swartz, as a member of the White House Technical Committee on Employment and Retirement, do you tell us what is being done in a positive way to help the retiree?
Well, indicates that if the patient does not have coronary disease or stroke type of thing, he can undergo major surgery just as well as anybody 40 years younger.
As a person who is known to oppose a retirement shut-off date of 65, what is your opinion of legislative proposals to limit the age of a person eligible for public office?
Well, my major concern about retirement at 65 or 70, whatever age you put, you're wasting a lot of human resources that this country cannot long stand, nor any country for that matter. And Plato said many years ago that he liked to converse and talk with the Ulster because he'd been over the road, you know, he knew the ins and outs and the rough places and the smooth places, and this is the way you learn, you see. And I think you cannot discount the value of this type of experience. The only thing we have to do is get them together.
Many, and usually it's a younger person, are critical of our senators and congressmen because of the age factor, saying that we have a senile Senate and Congress. We'd like your opinion on this.
Well, this gets you back to the very nitty-gritty of what you're talking about, age and older, so things of this sort. Now, from a medical standpoint, you see, we are agreed that there is no disease entity or physical or mental condition that occurs because the passage of time, period. Now, this also applies to every other phase of living. And if you want to look up the medical literature on it, you'll see this running through all of the literature. And out at South Bend, they just got a new, or not new, it's a laboratory experiment where they're keeping rats out of contact with all environment. And now they've been gone so long, and the man who directs it says he does not know what these rats are going to die of, because they're not showing the things that you ordinarily expect as time goes by. They're protected from their environment. The things that you see and you associate with aging are the impact of environment and the way people react to them has nothing to do with the passage of time. So this concept that, you know, just because you got gray hair, this is a segregation type of thing and a misunderstanding, and it may be due to lack of knowledge on both parts. I mean, how to live together, actually.
One final question, Dr. Swartz. A report out of Washington, D.C. last week said that even though we have done away with poorhouses as we once knew them, our elderly citizens are in many cases worse off than if we still sent them to poorhouses.
So many things that you see in the paper or as reported on television are so far without basis that I have no reason, I have no way of knowing why anyone would say this, because in my experience in dealing with many hospitals, I visited homes for the aging, nursing homes and whatnot from one coast to the other because of my association with the AMA. And anyone who's had this experience certainly would have to deny any such concept, because I think the older folks today are being taken care of much better in many ways than they ever were since they've been old people.
Then you would disagree with the report of a congressman who did an investigative study of nursing homes.
Who? Well, I tell you, that would be like me going out of here right now and going downtown and making a statement about Ball State Teachers College. I wouldn't know anything about it, and I don't think he can get the concept of nursing home historically or even by sitting in the same room with people if he doesn't have the background and the training to understand it. I could spend a day and a half in the bank downtown and not know a thing, or a week, or a month. And I don't think a congressman in the United States has any more ability to understand these things than I do. And I think that was a publicity business from the word go. I've been to these senatorial things, you know, and I remember one of them, I almost fell out of my seat when a prominent senator got up and told what he knew about the nursing homes, and someone said, "How did you know all this, Senator?" Well, he learned it from a nephew who had an aunt in a nursing home. He had never been in a nursing home. And this is the type of thing that gets bandied around in the newspapers. I'm almost an Agnew man here at the moment, you see, because I would like to have some real truth in this business and not just the Nader-like type of thing where they're picking stuff out of context and trying to get publicity for them.
Who do you feel would be qualified to investigate nursing homes? Or do you feel that they should be investigated?
Oh, I don't know that they should be investigated any more than the bank should be investigated, or my practice should be investigated, or your business should be investigated. These people are, most of the homes in most of the states are operating under the laws of the state. They're minimal, that's true. Accreditation, which we're trying to do, gives maximal benefits or maximal gradings. And I think that in order for you to really evaluate things, you have to go there and live with them and have an understanding and get some historic background, and then I think you come up with the story. But I don't know why they should be investigated any more than our hospitals. You know, they're talking about peer review for the docs now. My gracious, I don't know what this is going to be, whether they're going to have somebody sit in your office and see whether you give the right size pill or what. It's
A few weeks ago, the Chicago Tribune ran a series of